Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm Luke Sullivan. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. Just north of Denver, right off Interstate I-25. You can't miss us. We've always got new inventory on the lot. That's exactly what's behind me. We've got a Norstar 2-horse Warmblood straight load with the traveling divider. A small package, really nice runaround trailer if you've got a big LQ or you've got a big trainer's trailer or something like that. Keeping that gooseneck design, so you're keeping that stability and that added space, obviously, in the tack room too. So again, like I said, small package, but a lot going on and very well equipped. First and foremost, talk really quick about our hitch. 2 5/16 inch ball is the requirement for that coupler. This is B&W and Cimmaron's third iteration of this style hitch now too, so it's given us a lot of adjustment. And just like I said, if you've got a big LQ at home and you're pulling it with a big dually or maybe a summit hauler like we've got here, you want to be able to have some adjustment, and certainly too that would still apply with a gooseneck of this size too. So you've got a lot of adjustability in here. You can get that clearance that you need, you can get your trailer riding level and be very secure with that. Big heavy duty safety chains, please folks, even with your goosenecks, use your safety chains. And then a coiled up breakaway cable over there too. It's kind of the small things with the Cimarrons. I like that. It keeps the mess out of the bed of our truck or in our hauler too, so makes things really neat. And we are just a standard 7-pin plug, no changes to that. We get some added bonuses nowadays with it, but no changes to our 7-pin. So one of the first options you see underneath the gooseneck of this trailer, first and foremost, is that electric over hydraulic jack. So that's a big upgrade. Certainly a lot of people have been cranking trailers up and down, jacking them off our trucks and trailers for a long time. So really, this is a press of a button. It is as simple as raise and lower. It is a very fast process. It is a very easy process, and it's secure too. You get a keyed on-off switch with it as well. So really nice. Takes away from that need. And then if we ever do have a dead battery, you have a fail-safe, whether you need to get it on your truck or off your truck. It's as simple as pumping a floor jack for your car in a shop and then switch a valve over there to raise or lower. Then always just stow this handle over here and you'll be in good shape. Never have to worry about it. Inside our battery box, first and foremost, is a battery, obviously. This runs our jack. This is our primary reason for this battery. A secondary bonus you get with running these onboard 12-volt deep cycles is that you get to run all your floodlights. You get to run all your tack room lights, even when you're not hooked up to a tow vehicle. I know we've got a box here to run some running lights for our videos and stuff, but no trickery. This battery will run, and all the tack room lights and floodlights that we have on now are running through this battery. Battery disconnect, it's very easy. Obviously, the bigger trailers, it's much easier. With this trailer, it's pretty easy too to leave a light on and walk away from it. So always ensure you flip that off if you're storing it for overnight or for the rest of the season, the off season. Flip that off, ensure your battery is always good to go. And then standard, I think we started in this model year 26s, is the RedArc charge controller. Anytime we do that deep cycle battery, it's gonna just buy a lot of life for our batteries. Whether they need a charge, it'll permit it to charge. Whether they're fully charged and they don't need to take as much, it's gonna help with that too. And then again, a nice secure battery box. We'll talk about locks and keys, but you get a master set with the trailer. You can lock this up tight too. Really quick, you do have a matching spare wheel and tire here. Get it up off the ground a little bit for some clearance with this jack, but that actually helps quite a bit too to save face. Gets it from right behind the wheels of our tow vehicle. And then, like I said, matching Goodyear rubber on these tires too, or on these trailers, and I think that really speaks for themselves. So let's get into some of the amenities. First and foremost is our front tack. With the gooseneck style, we're really not losing any space that we would in a lot of smaller, maybe bumper pull style trailers. We've got all the storage above our neck, and we're not really missing out on amenities at all. So first, you see we've got a brush box in the door, partitioned out with a couple little drain holes. I'd be the first one to spill some fly spray or hoof paint. So nice to be able to wash it out if you do something like that. And then stepping into the trailer, you get a nice step right away as you walk into the trailer. It is controlled and latched and held closed or open with a gas shock. So there's no latch, there's no pin anymore to get gunked up with gravel and dirt and mud or salt and snow soon. We're getting to that time of year. It's going to happen sooner or later. So really nice. It's no mechanism at all. You have that ability. And then walking into the tack room, you'll see we are a rubber matted floor in here. So really easy to pull this mat out, clean it out, or just sweep it out as is and leave it be. Still standard underneath our aluminum floor with our 4-inch on centers, extends throughout the trailer on the Cimarrons. Working our way up, just like we said, you're not missing out on any storage space in the front of this gooseneck. Fully carpeted drop wall and the flooring itself. So my wife runs a gooseneck style trailer. She spends a lot of weekends up here with a blow up mattress. Open up a couple of these windows and you can get a cross ventilation going. With Cimarron's insulated roof, you'll stay a little bit cooler in here on a hot summer day, and it's a really nice place to be. And then obviously wide open space for storage. If you've got a bunch of totes, some extra tack and equipment that you just need a spot to stow it, obviously you have that ability. And then Cimarron does a nice job, like I said, just kind of with the small touches above both of those windows, and then on driver's side there too, you've got a clothes hanger or a rod to get some show coats, blankets, pants, whatever else you want. It helps you get it out of your tow vehicle first and foremost. Maybe you've got some passengers that would appreciate that, and that'll make a big difference for you too. Working our way around, you will see, in fact, I'll give you a good look here. Right down the middle of this, where our bolts are aligned on our saddle racks and our blanket poles, is a full track from floor to ceiling. So you have the ability to really move these anywhere. Obviously, you probably wouldn't want a saddle rack all the way on the floor, but you have that ability to customize it any way you want. If you want a few more of these, we carry them in our parts department. Same with the pad poles as well. So it makes a big difference to how you want to set these up. We have a lot of customers, and I like the idea of sticking these poles right under that saddle rack, and you have that ability to keep some of that sweaty gear off your leather equipment, obviously. And then again, like I said, fully customizable. So if you're not going to use these, pull them right off, set them and forget them, and throw them in the barn until you trade it in for your next one. So you have a lot of options when it comes to that. And then racks are carpeted. You'll see behind our bridle hooks are carpeted as well. We've all seen the used trailers going down the road. We've all probably owned the used trailers going down the road that have all the marks from our bit and our headgear and that kind of stuff swinging on these racks. So first and foremost, that carpet really helps us on that resale, helps us on retaining that value of that trailer. It doesn't degrade, it doesn't mark it up like we've all seen. Secondarily, it actually acts as a really nice sound deadener too. So we're sharing this wall, obviously this space, with our horses. And Cimarron's a big goal in how they make all of their attachment points, their pivots, their partitions, is quiet ride. So certainly that's something that we want to consider too when we've got all of that stuff up here hung up against a metal wall and bouncing down the road. Really nice pass-through window there too. We can get some air moving through this if we've got a lot, if we've had a long day of showing or trail riding or something like that. We've got a lot of sweaty gear in here. You can open that window up and move some air through this trailer as you're driving home and get some of that stuff dried out as you go, and then obviously work your way out with it from there. Second little double stack of bridle hooks there with that full carpeting in as well. Just a lot more options. And then you'll see there too, just at the threshold of the door, is that on-off switch for our LED lights. Opti-Brights inside our tack room. We've got one right over the door there for us. And in these spaces, we're 4 foot on the short wall and we're 5 foot here behind me on the long wall of this tack room. So a good bit of space, but that Opti-Bright's really going to brighten things up for us in here, and we'll be able to see anything that we're doing. We've got a few in the horse area, and then the floodlights really complement the outside of the trailer as we go along. One quick thing, we talked about Cimarron's insulated roof and staying comfortable in here. We talked about maybe spending a night in here, something like that. Cimarron does standard now. Every single gooseneck, especially that you see running off the lot, is pre-framed for an AC unit. So we talk a lot about add-ons. We talk about adding jacks or worm flooring, that kind of stuff. We've got a lot of stuff on house side that we can help you out with too. If you wanted to outfit this trailer with a 30 amp service and an AC up there, and you were going to spend some longer weekends or significant time over the summer, throughout the summer in the trailer, that's an option for you too. And Cimarron just does a nice job with that. You don't have to worry about finding an aluminum guy or a getting all that fit in just right. It's going to be as simple as cutting out that panel and dropping it in and then getting everything wired up. So again, Cimarron's always kind of got that forethought, and it's a lot easier just to build those out from the factory instead of doing it after the fact. We'll close up our tack room here and give you a look as we go along at our flip up step 2. Big weather strip on those doors, and they really are tight. They want to bounce back, especially when they're brand new. You get some use in them and everything starts working a lot better. Side ramp has a ton of benefits. I think this trailer kind of maybe was birthed from the 2+1, but just to give you a more compact package. But the side ramp I like for a multitude of reasons. It gives you a ton of options, whether you've got an old fella at home that doesn't like backing off a ramp because he's got sore hocks and stifles, or you've just got one that's opinionated and doesn't like backing off anyway, and it's a lot easier than fighting just to lead him straight off. A secondary thought that I always have, I was in the breeding industry for a long time. I did a lot of large animal rescue courses over the years. A second entry point, a second exit point. If, God forbid, something ever does happen, it is really nice to know that if something happened back there at the back and you got rear-ended, that you have a way to get your horses off of here. It's just a really added bonus. And then the versatility too, to be able to kind of use it as storage. If you're going to do that, tie some stuff up against the bulkhead wall, you have a lot of options like that. So we'll close this up. We'll get inside the horse area around the back, but I want to show you a couple things. First and foremost, all these paddle latches are keyed alike, same as our battery box. And then our rear door back here, have to move this one around, but is designed with that same paddle latch so that you can run with these guys open. If you had one horse over there on driver's side, or you were running this guy wide open, you could certainly run with those open to cool things down. And again, gives you a good look at the side ramp, all closed up. You do have a bus window above that give you a bit more options. Winter time, still want to move some air through the trailer, you have some options. So our rear Dutch doors are on the same paddle latch design too, so you have that option to run these guys open too. Really move a ton of air through the trailer. We've got a couple tie rings over here too. We'll do mirror image on driver and passenger side with the tie rings. We can always add some more. Those are an easy add-on if you'd like to add a bit more options of where you'd like to tie up. And then to complement that, above our tie rings, we do have an 18 or a 16 inch, OptiBrite awning light too. So we're gonna have a lot of light over here. We're gonna be able to see what we're doing. Time change, it certainly extends the day for us a little bit if we can maybe get untacked after a ride around 4 or 5. So let's talk running gear really quick. 6,000 pound Dexter torsion axles. Like I said, we are on Goodyear tires. I think that name right in and of itself speaks for itself, excuse me. And then we're electric drum brake trailer. So be sure, smaller trailer, if you're used to pulling big things, maybe not so worried about it, but be sure you always have an electric trailer brake controller in your tow vehicle. I'll get it out sooner or later. And that you can always, it's ever changing. With a full load of 2 horses and a full load of tack, this trailer will weigh maybe almost double what it weighs sitting here completely empty. So be sure you have those numbers. Be sure you have that ability to change things around. So side ramp, obviously you have a full width rear ramp here as well. We do the double Dutch doors over the top, but really nice loading space here. Awning light over the top of us, so if we are working late at night or early in the morning, we have those options. And then butt bars are as simple as dropping out of that. It is a plastic on metal connection like we were talking about, sound deadening and keeping things a little quieter as we're riding down the road. We've all heard the old metal stock trailers that are metal on metal on metal, banging and clanging every bump they hit. And so to quiet these down quite a bit, we do some bushings and pieces between the fittings on the wall side, and then on this side we also do, I'll bring it back over for you, plastic on metal too, just to keep things a lot quieter. And it's as simple as dropping it in just like that. So the big part of this trailer, and we're just going to kind of walk through and do it as I go, no tricks, I haven't preset anything up. We're going to drop down the chest bars on both sides, and this divider is a full traveling divider. So almost kind of on a barn door roller type style mechanism in the ceiling. It's as simple as dropping down. I've now got all 4 butt and chest bars down, and it's as simple as unpinning 5 pins, 1 for our head divider up here up front, 2 up front, and then I'll get 2 in the back. Now the only trick about all of this is that our trailer, unfortunately for me, is leaning quite a bit to the passenger side, and this one likes to stow over on the driver's side, or has to stow over on the driver's side. So it's gonna wanna roll towards me, but I've got my foot wedged now because I've figured it out. But it's as easy as that. This divider is now completely unpinned. You don't have to find a friend, a significant other, a working student, and you don't have to decide where to leave it, at your farm, at your show. You can take it with you. And now you have a wide open box stall. And just like our doors in our tack room, all of this stuff is stiff. It is a very nice, tight connection. You use it a little bit, and this will be pop right in and out. And just talking over video, that's done. I didn't have to find somebody. It's a solid divider, top to bottom. It's all aluminum. They can be awkward still, even when they are the removable type. So this versatility, the ability to pull this guy out like this, slide it over to the side. Like I told you earlier, I was in the breeding industry, so to be able to throw them Aaron Full in here real quick, run them down to the clinic, and then pick up 2 geldings from a friend or something like that on the same trip really adds a lot of convenience and ease of use out of these trailers. Big difference with that. And like I said, you don't have to decide where to leave it. You can bring it with you. All 5 pins have a spot to pin everything in tight. So this is absolutely designed to be stowed in the traveling position like this and travel like this. And like I said, if you wanted to completely strip it out, very easy to pull a couple of pins for these chest and butt bars on this side. You notice I didn't remove the other on the driver's side. They just tuck right up against the wall. And you've got a wide open, clean space to keep some horses in. So let's talk a little bit about some Cimarron standard stuff. First and foremost, 4-inch on center cross member floors. Cimarron is, maybe I'm biased, the best in the industry. It's really hard to compare any other manufacturer with the style of their tongue and groove that fits together with the V trusses. And it's just, it's top notch. You're not going to get those waves, especially on a straight load style trailer like this, where maybe your horses are standing in the same spot all the time. You're not going to get those waves that you'll see in some other manufacturers. We are a rubber matted floor on this trailer. If you wanted to upgrade to worm, we've got a vendor down south of us that can help us out with it. If you want to build one through Cimarron, we can certainly get it done through worm or Cimarron from the factory. And then throughout the trailer too, you'll notice rubber mats way up high, up all the way up to those oversized bus windows towards the back side of our horses. Big rubber cushions on our chest bars, and then even up here on this partition wall, this bulkhead wall behind me, we've got big rubber mats. If you wanted to use this space, we've got a lot of usable space up here if you wanted to tie or bungee a few things up. If you felt comfortable doing that, you certainly have those options too. And then again, that's our pass-through window into our tack. A lot, just moving a lot of air through these trailers. Driver's side, we do have an escape door over here. It does have a big drop window in it too, so we can move a lot of air through the trailer. And then just one more little small thing with the Cimarron. It's nice to be able to pop in here if you are using it, as we have it set up right now as a box. And I opened this up and wanted to offer some hay or water on a road trip. I certainly wouldn't want to open that full man door at a gas station and not know if they were facing me on the other side or about to make their way out or try and make a break for it. So nice to have that. And then one on the ramp as well. And Cimarron does a nice job of storing it too, which is a really added little treat that if you don't ever want to use it, you can obviously stow it right there in the corner, clip it on right there. Same theory exactly. If you're using this as a box, you have the ability to drop your ramp and have just one more barrier before you get in. And then I love that track that it sits in. So slide it up high, little socket down on the floor, set it and forget it, and you don't have to worry about it ever again if you don't want to use it. And then again, like I said, real easy just to bring back down and drop back down. Let's start working our way up a little bit. First and foremost, Opti Brights again. We've got one over each horse A lot of light in this trailer with the white walls in here. We're gonna see what we're doing no matter if it's pitch black or a nice sunny day like today. We talked a little bit about Cimarron's insulated roof. It's an R3 insulation factor. There's also a huge structural component to it too. So maybe not as big a deal on this style trailer, but our big LQs, nice to be able to know that we can walk around up on these roofs. Also, we're in hail country here in Colorado, so these things hold up really, really well. I don't know if we can say hail proof, but hail resistant maybe. And it makes a big difference out here. I'm new to the area a couple years now, and hail is something we ask about on every trade-in. So something to always consider, especially on resale. And then we've got some two-way roof vents right in front of the heads, or right at the heads of both of our horses. So summertime, 90, 100 degrees, we're moving down the road, certainly bring a lot of air in through the trailer with some drop windows and maybe your Dutch windows open over the backside. You can keep everybody comfortable in here. Complements the insulated roof quite a bit. And we did talk, I'm not sure if we mentioned measurements, we're 7'7" tall in here, so you've got a lot of headroom. Nice to be able to move some air throughout the trailer. So like I said, we can stow this right over here on driver's side. I'm gonna close up the rear ramp just to have a quick look at a couple things on the back side of it. And then again, would be real easy just to slide right over and have your 2-horse straight load back to normal again. So we'll close this guy up. Like I mentioned, the double Dutch doors are designed to be run open, but they do have some bus windows in each of them. If you don't feel comfortable leaving those open, you can still regulate some airflow with those bus windows. And just like I said, excuse that, just like I said, even the paddle latches back here on the ramp are all keyed alike. So if you had a couple trunks at a show, you unloaded a lot of your stuff, you want to throw a few things back in, just easy to throw them up the ramp, you can lock them up and keep them secure. Cimarron marker lights throughout are all LEDs. We talked about our floodlights and our interior lighting all being LED, so really low power draw. I like that Cimarron does the 4 fixtures around the back of the trailer. Obviously, you're gonna get signals on 2 of 2, left and right, and then the reverse bulb. Really like that. I said our 7-pin is not changed. Main reason I bring that up is a lot of people ask, well, how do you get that reverse signal from our tow vehicles? No change, it's that center pin and that 7-pin connection, and it's just been very, excuse me, very underutilized. So nice to have that. If you're parking at home and you got your reference point you use all the time, nice to have the lights to light it up. Or if it's a brand new spot and you've never been there before, obviously nice to have some extra light. Control for all of our exterior lighting and our interior lighting inside the horse area is all done right here. Just a bunch of 2-way switches, gonna give us driver's side and passenger side and over the rear ramp and the interior of the trailer. Nice to be able to hop out of our tow vehicle over here on driver's side and jump out and flip these on first thing. And then tack room's gonna have its own separate switch as well. Another LED awning light above, some mirror image tie hooks, just like we said. Nice to have the option whether parking allows or you need to separate a couple because they're not so friendly. Nice to be able to have a couple options, and then those are an easy add-on too if you want to add a couple. Happy to do it. We've got them in our parts department ready to throw on. Big oversized bus window over the back side of our horses there. Again, really nice to help with airflow, and then really nice look. I like the driver's side look of this trailer, getting a look at those black aluminum wheels too. It's a good looking trailer. Get our man door closed up over here on driver's side. Double latched anytime we share a space that could potentially be freedom or free horse space or free roaming horse space. We double latch those for a little bit of security. And then here's the drop window that we spoke about earlier. Can allow a lot of air through this trailer. And then the jail bars keep them secure. If you do want to offer some, don't want to go inside, you can drop that down. No mechanism. I really like the pins that just fall right into place and then close things back up. And just like our rear doors, just like our door over our ramp on the passenger side, small bus window in there too, so that we can regulate some airflow, regulate some temperatures. Even it's November, we're still supposed to be warm today, but it'll get cold sooner or later, and we'll certainly appreciate the ability to regulate that quite a bit. So If you guys have any questions about the 2-horse Warmblood behind me, if you'd like to see some drawings, some spec sheets, weights, please feel free to reach out to my email. It's down below, luke.sullivan@transwest.com. If you'd like to talk tow vehicles, weights, again, like I said, empty weights, pin weights, we can certainly help you out with understanding all of that kind of stuff. Call or text me on my cell phone. It's 859-509-1282. And then if you're really interested in this one, please feel free to reference it via its stock number. That is 5N250568. Thanks for your time today, everybody. También hablo español.